Puff for 30 years.
You saw Big before he passed?
Yeah.
Bro, so you're close. And Jack, what were you saying about that?
I went to college with Puff.
Hang on. What were you saying?
I knew Diddy when he was Puffy.
Okay.
In the documentary, there was insinuations of, that Diddy possibly had something to do with both Tupac and Biggie. And,
Who's telling the story, right? You can skew.
People very close to the situation.
But you can skew. You can create any narrative as a producer and as a director and as a storyteller. I can create a narrative. I could be like, you know what?
You have.
I could create a narrative.
Well, we see it all the time in reality shows. Reality shows.
Yeah,
that's how
you're
they're creating
a narrative. It doesn't mean it's true. It doesn't mean it's true. I can get interviews. I can do this. I can get footage, and I could make you think this about that person.
Nah, for sure, yeah.
And that doesn't necessarily mean it's true. So for me, I think, look, 50 and Puff have a long-term beef. It's personal. It's
well,
between.
People are saying 50's wrong for doing it, but 50's right for doing it. It's divided.
It's between him and Puff, and before it's between him and Puff, it's between both of them and God. Just the way Puff is down on his luck, and 50's kicking a man when he's down.
God is gonna.
If 50 ever luck turned up on 50, karma to every action that you do.
You think we'll see that day?
Huh?
You think we'll see that day?
I don't think 50 does dumb stuff. He's very smart, in terms of his business. I think he already had his.
I think we already would have saw it.
He got shot 9 times. He paid his debt early. So that's why he's like, F it. But, look, this is between him and Puff, and honestly, it's between both of them and God.
Yeah.
So, only God can judge to sit there and have a conversation, a much needed conversation with God. Like I said, I know his kids, I know his family, I know 50. I've seen Tupac and Biggie, both friends of mine, die for beef. I think we all need to learn our lessons. Mm-hmm. And at a point, you're going to keep one-upping each other until the beef gets so out of hand that lives are at stake. And that's when you've crossed the line. And at a point, now it's no holds bars and bare knuckle boxing. When Puff come out, he gonna probably have.
Let's start with 50 Cent, because baby, he is doing the most right now. If you haven't seen it yet, 50 Cent went off on Marlon Wayans after Marlon called him out over the Diddy Netflix docuseries The Reckoning. Now, y'all know Marlon, he doesn't hold back. He's one of those people who will speak facts, opinions, or whatever he feels in a conversation, and this time, he had something to say about 50's involvement with this Netflix docuseries. According to Marlon, creating a documentary is tricky business. You can tell a story, you can skew a narrative, you can make things look a certain way that may not be 100% true, and he warned 50 about the way the docuseries was coming across. Marlon said basically that while 50 and Puff may have beef, you have to be careful how you portray things because the internet is watching, people are reacting, and some things might not sit well. And y'all know 50 Cent, he doesn't take too kindly to anyone talking about him, especially when it comes to business or things he's passionate about. So what did he do? Moments after Marlon made his comments, 50 hopped on Instagram and fired back. He posted a picture of Marlon from White Chicks and simply said, "Keep my name out your mouth, boy." Boom! That's it. No long explanation, no backstory, just straight energy. And as we know, 50 doesn't miss. He knows exactly how to send a message loud and clear, and this time, he did it in true 50 fashion. Now, before we go further, let me tell y'all, Marlon is not the only person who has had criticisms about this docuseries. Diddy's own mother, along with Biggie Smalls' estate, has reportedly called out the Netflix doc for spreading lies and misinformation. And honestly, this is where it gets messy. Because now we're talking about not just opinions or personal beef, we're talking about legacy, history, and a lot of people feeling like things are being misrepresented. You've got Tupac, Biggie, Diddy, 50 Cent, all of these major figures being brought into one docuseries, and people are feeling some type of way about how their stories are being told. 50 Cent, as usual, is in the middle of all of it. Some people are saying he's wrong for participating or pushing the narrative, but others are saying he's right for telling his side. And y'all know it's personal. This goes way back with Puff. It's not just a business disagreement, it's a long-term, personal, complicated situation that's been building over years. And when you add a Netflix docuseries into the mix with claims about Tupac and Biggie, naturally, people are going to have opinions, and those opinions are going to be loud. Now, let me break this down a little more, because this is where the story gets even juicier. Marlon's point was that documentaries are not just about truth, they're about perspective. You can take interviews, you can get footage, you can tell a story in a way that makes someone look a certain way, but that doesn't mean it's factual. And he warned 50 that this docuseries could have people questioning things that aren't exactly true. And y'all know 50. He hears that kind of warning and it either lights a fire under him or makes him go harder. And this time, he clearly chose the former. But let's get real. This isn't just about 50 Cent and Marlon Wayans. This is about history, about hip-hop culture, about legends like Tupac and Biggie and how their stories are told. When you bring in Diddy, the stakes get even higher. Puff has been in this game for over 30 years. He's been close to Biggie before he passed. He's been part of hip-hop's most iconic moments. And now, 50 is essentially putting himself in the middle of a narrative that involves everyone's emotions, history, and reputation. That's why people are paying attention and why the internet has been exploding with reactions. And listen, we can't ignore the drama factor, because that's what's making this story so addictive. 50 Cent isn't just responding in private, he's making it public. Marlon gives his thoughts in an interview, and 50 fires back on Instagram with a photo and a simple, savage message. That's peak entertainment. That's why people keep coming back to the news, why the YouTube videos keep popping up, and why everyone is commenting, debating, and sharing their takes. And I need y'all to stay until the very end, because trust me, this story keeps evolving. Now, let's talk about the docuseries itself. The Reckoning is having people talking because of the claims it's making. There are insinuations about Diddy, about events surrounding Tupac and Biggie, and honestly, some of it is eyebrow-raising. People are asking, is this true? Is this exaggerated? Who's telling the story, and why are they telling it that way? And this is exactly what Marlon was warning about. The narrative can be skewed, perspectives can be changed, and the audience has to take everything with a grain of salt. But here's the thing, the docuseries is working. People are engaged, people are talking, people are taking sides, and while some are critical of 50 Cent, others are entertained. They're watching every move, every comment, every post, and reacting to it. It's the kind of engagement that only happens when the story has history, legacy, and drama all wrapped into one package. And trust me, there's more coming. And just when you think it couldn't get any messier, you've got reactions from other celebrities and figures in the hip-hop community. People are sharing their opinions. People are debating who's right, who's wrong, and what really happened. And at the center of it all is 50 Cent holding court like he always does. He's unapologetic, he's bold, and he's making sure that his voice is heard. And we all know with 50, that's going to create even more headlines, more posts, more reactions, and more debate. Now, let's dig a little deeper into the Netflix docuseries, The Reckoning, because baby, this is where the real chaos starts. The series claims to tell the story of Diddy's involvement in some of hip-hop's most infamous moments, including events surrounding Tupac and Biggie. And y'all already know, anytime you bring those two legends into a conversation, people are going to have strong opinions. Tupac and Biggie are sacred figures in hip-hop culture, and fans are not about to sit quietly if they feel something is being twisted or misrepresented. That's why Marlon Wayans' comments made so many people stop and say, wait, hold on. Is this too much? Are we crossing a line? And you can't talk about this docuseries without mentioning the tension between 50 Cent and Diddy. Their beef has been simmering for years. People forget that this isn't just some random drama. It goes back decades. 50 has never been afraid to speak his mind, and now, being involved in a docuseries that brings up all this history, it's basically lighting a match in a room full of fireworks. And the internet, oh, they're loving it. They're clipping moments, sharing screenshots, making memes, and debating every angle like it's a court trial. Every single day, there's something new popping up. And if you're watching this video, I promise you, by the end, you'll be caught up on everything you need to know, including the wildest parts people aren't even talking about yet. Now, let's go back to Marlon Wayans for a moment. He wasn't trying to stir the pot for fun, he was giving a warning. He basically said, listen, you can craft a story, you can twist perspectives, you can make someone look a certain way, but that doesn't make it true. And Marlon has a point. Documentary storytelling is powerful, And when you mix in personal beef, historical events, and legendary figures, it can get messy real quick. But 50 Cent didn't take that warning quietly. As I mentioned earlier, he hit Instagram hard and the shade was real. Keep my name out your mouth, boy. Simple, savage, and y'all know that's gonna light the comment sections on fire. But let's talk about why people are divided. Some fans are saying 50 Cent is wrong for being involved in this docuseries. They argue that by participating, he's stirring unnecessary drama, making claims about Diddy, and bringing up Tupac and Biggie. It could be seen as disrespectful. Others say 50 is right because he's telling his truth, standing his ground, and holding people accountable. And honestly, both sides have a point. It's complicated. This isn't just gossip. We're talking about the legacy of hip-hop legends and how their stories are presented to the world. And let's be real. When you mix celebrities, money, legacy, and personal beef, the internet is going to explode no matter what. And speaking of explosions, Diddy's own mother and Biggie Smalls' estate recently called out the docuseries. They're saying that it spreads false information and misrepresents key events. And this is where the heat really starts, because now we're not just talking about opinions or fun social media drama, we're talking about protecting legacies and correcting the narrative. Fans are split. Some are siding with 50 Cent, some are siding with Diddy, and some are just here for the drama. And let me tell you, the memes that came out of this alone are worth the price of admission. People were quick to post clips, reactions, and jokes, and the internet absolutely ate it up. But here's the thing. 50 thrives in this kind of chaos. He's always been a guy who knows how to dominate the conversation. Whether it's through Instagram posts, interviews, or social media clout, he always makes sure people are paying attention. And in this situation, he's doing exactly that. He's not just involved, he's leading the conversation. People are watching, they're commenting, they're debating, and they're sharing content like crazy. And for viewers like you, that means there's a lot to cover. You're going to want to stick around to the very end because every little reaction, every new post adds a layer to this story. Now, let's not forget the personal side of this. 50 Cent's beef with Diddy is more than just entertainment. It's personal. The tension between them has been building for decades, and this docuseries just brought it to the surface in a way that the public can see. And y'all know how 50 is. He does no subtle. When he's upset or feels slighted, he's gonna let you know in no uncertain terms. That's why his Instagram post was so savage and why everyone is still talking about it days later. And that's why I need y'all to stay with me till the end of this video, because the story isn't slowing down anytime soon.
But wait, there's more. This isn't just 50 Cent and Marlon Wayans. This is about the entire hip-hop community reacting to a very controversial docuseries. You've got fans of Tupac, fans of Biggie, and fans of Diddy all weighing in. You've got people on social media taking sides, posting reactions, and debating the facts versus the narrative. And let me tell you, it's heated. Every post, every comment, every clip shared online adds fuel to the fire. And if you think this is just temporary, think again. People are still talking about this weeks after the docuseries dropped. Now, let's also take a moment to talk about the historical context. Tupac and Biggie are two of the most legendary figures in hip-hop history. Their deaths, their stories, their legacies, all of it is still incredibly relevant. And when a docuseries comes out suggesting controversial claims about Diddy's involvement in past events, it's natural for people to react strongly. Some are outraged, some are curious, some are entertained, and some are just here for the memes. But no matter how you slice it, the conversation isn't going anywhere. And 50 Cent, he's right in the middle, keeping the drama alive and making sure people are paying attention. And speaking of attention, let's talk about how the public has reacted to 50's Instagram post. People were quick to comment, share, and clip the moment. Fans debated whether 50 was right or wrong. Some were defending him, saying he's just standing up for himself. Others were criticizing him, saying the docuseries was going too far and he should have stayed out of it. But the thing about 50 Cent is that he doesn't care about being neutral. He's here to make a statement. And trust me, that's exactly what he did. And now if you're still watching, you already know I'm not letting this story slow down. Because after 50 Cent's response, the docuseries itself has gotten even more attention. People are rewatching episodes, analyzing clips, and debating every single line. Social media is flooded with takes, memes, and opinions. And the crazy part? The story continues to evolve. New posts, new reactions, new statements keep coming out almost daily. That's why it's so important to stay tuned, because even when you think the drama's over, there's always another twist. Now, let's get real about the reactions from the fans, because y'all, this is where it gets really messy. Social media exploded after 50 Cent posted that "keep my name out your mouth, boy" message to Marlon Wayans. Memes went viral instantly. People were taking clips of Marlon's original comments and pairing them with scenes from movies like White Chicks, saying this is Marlon talking about 50. The creativity was wild. And y'all know, when the internet gets involved, it's like adding gasoline to a fire. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, every platform was blowing up. People were taking sides, and it quickly became a debate that went beyond just 50 and Diddy. It became about respect for Tupac, Biggie, and hip-hop history. Some fans argued that the docuseries was sensationalized, trying to stir drama for views. Others said 50 was justified because he's telling his side of the story, no filter. And the comments? Ooh, the comments were something else. People were dragging, defending, shading, and making jokes all at the same time. It's the kind of viral chaos that makes you laugh, shake your head, and say, I cannot believe I'm witnessing this right now. And you'll know, whenever a celebrity conflict gets this big, it doesn't stay small. Soon after, Diddy's own mother got involved. She, along with Biggie's estate, publicly criticized the docuseries, calling out what they say were lies and distortions. This added a whole new layer to the story. Now, it wasn't just 50 Cent versus Diddy versus Marlon Wayans. It became a full-on family and legacy matter. And fans were split. Some were defending 50 Cent, saying he has the right to be involved and speak his truth. Others were siding with Diddy's family, saying you don't mess with people's legacies like that. And honestly, this is the type of controversy that keeps people talking for months. If you're still watching, trust me, the story only gets bigger from here, and you're going to want to see every reaction unfold. Now, let's break down 50 Cent's strategy here. Y'all know he's a master at social media. Anytime there's drama, he knows exactly how to use it to his advantage. He doesn't just react, he controls the narrative. That Instagram post wasn't random, it was calculated. It made people take notice, comment, share, and debate. And while some might call it petty, that's exactly what keeps him relevant in this space. 50 Cent thrives on attention, and this docuseries gave him the perfect opportunity to insert himself into a story that millions of people are already talking about. And for the viewers, that means content, tea, and entertainment on a whole new level. By the end of this video, you'll understand why this drama has legs and why everyone is still obsessed with it. And let's also take a moment to talk about Marlon Wayans. Now, Marlon is no stranger to being outspoken. He's been in Hollywood for decades, and he's not afraid to voice his opinion, even if it gets him into hot water. And in this case, he made a very valid point. As a documentary creator, you can spin a story any way you want. You can interview people, show footage, and craft a narrative that might not be entirely true. And that's what Marlon was warning 50 Cent about. He was basically saying, careful, this is sensitive territory. You can tell your story, but don't make it look like the absolute truth if it's not. And honestly, that's advice a lot of people should have taken seriously. But 50 Cent? Nah, he's bold. He doesn't back down. He sees an opportunity to address Diddy directly, and he takes it. That's why we're here talking about it. That's why your notifications are blowing up. That's why everyone is clicking, sharing, and debating. And y'all, we can't ignore the history between 50 Cent and Diddy. This isn't some recent argument. This beef goes way back. People forget that 50 Cent has had issues with Diddy for years, including business disagreements and personal conflicts. So when you bring that history into a docuseries that touches on Tupac, Big E, and other legendary figures, it's like opening Pandora's box. And the internet knew it. Social media exploded instantly after Marlon Wayans' warning and 50 Cent's response. Clips went viral, people made memes, and hashtags started trending. And trust me, this isn't the kind of story that dies quickly. People are invested because it's not just drama, it's history, legacy, and entertainment all rolled into one. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. Some fans have been saying that 50 Cent's involvement is just him stirring the pot unnecessarily. They argue that he's taking advantage of sensitive subjects, making claims about Diddy, and dragging Tupac and Biggie into the conversation. But others are saying he's just being honest, standing up for himself, and responding to a docuseries that could impact how people see history. And here's the thing, that's exactly why this story is so sticky. It's a debate without easy answers. And as a viewer, you're not just watching entertainment, you're watching a real-time cultural conversation unfold. And don't forget about the memes. Oh, the memes. People online were relentless. From using clips of Marlon Wayans and white chicks to joking about 50 Cent's savage Instagram clapback, social media creativity was at an all-time high. Fans were dissecting every word, screenshotting every moment, and turning it into endless content. And if you're still here watching this video, you're part of that wave of attention. Every meme, every comment, every viral post is another layer to this story. And trust me, we're nowhere near done. By the end of this video, you'll know all the angles, all the reactions, and all the chaos that has come from this docuseries and the drama surrounding it. And here's another key point. The docuseries itself is controversial because it brings up questions about history that are sensitive. Tupac and Biggie's deaths are still painful topics for fans and their families. Anytime you suggest that someone might have been involved or responsible, people are going to react, and they have. From Diddy's family speaking out to fans debating online, this is exactly the kind of story that generates endless conversation. And 50 Cent, he's making sure he's front and center in that conversation. He's not a bystander. He's not a passive participant. He's actively shaping the narrative, whether people like it or not. Now, if you're still watching, here's the part you need to remember. This story is ongoing. New posts, new reactions, new commentary are coming out almost daily. And that's why it's so important to stay tuned until the end. Because every new update changes the story, adds a new twist, and keeps the conversation alive. By the time this video is over, you'll have a full picture of 50 Cent versus Marlon Wayans, Diddy and his family's reactions, the docuseries controversy, and the public's response.